This is episode 184 of the Break 80 podcast. If you're just tuning in for the first time, thank you for joining us. I'm Stouds here. With me for this week's episode, Short-Sighted Mike, Top 100 Tim. And unlike the Break 80 podcast that keeps trucking weekly, can we say the same thing about Tim's beloved LIV Golf Tour?
No, we cannot, because I'm pretty sure they might be done after this year. Or at least looks that way. But listen, this was a train wreck from the beginning. Anybody that's been around golf understands it's a train wreck. Tim and I went. There was a train wreck when we went. This thing has been a complete train wreck from the beginning.
Mike, serious question here. Are you a Trump fan after this collapse? I mean, in essence, what Trump put into place eventually led to the downfall of LIV Golf and the reunification of the PGA Tour and LIV players. Are you a fan of the policies that led to this outcome?
First of all, I don't like wars, period. I really don't like wars that are fought for Israel and for nobody else and no other reason. And then it makes all of our lives worse for more expensive. But maybe that could be the reason. Well, that's going to be their justification, right? The economic conditions. But this was coming long before anything with this war in Iran. I mean, long before that. This has been a joke of a league now for like 4 years. They've made no money. They've wasted tons of money. Nobody watches it. Nobody cares. They're playing in Mexico City this week on literally, I have more grass growing on my driveway than in some of these, than where Bryson was chipping from. Like this league is a joke. It's been a joke. They had one guy in the top 30 at the Masters. I mean, it's not been good. They've done a few things well. They've pushed the PGA Tour to do some things, which is good, but their product is just not good. It's just.
I will tell you now, Mike. Some big sponsors coming on. I think HBC Bank had Abraham Answer, I believe, up on top of the highest building in Mexico City to hit putts. They've got a lot of money to attract, but could you imagine being Scott O'Neill right now in that CEO position, trying to find billions of makeup money?
He's not
to fill in that piff.
There's no way. Think about it. Bryson withdrew, claiming a wrist injury this week in Mexico City. Obviously, that's fake. He withdrew because he doesn't like the course, and he reportedly has asked for $500 million. They're not going to find a single investor in the world that is going to give him $500 million. It's just not. It's farcical that what they're going to try to do. What Scott O'Neill is saying, it's not going to happen.
There's absolutely no way. And with the PIF pulling out or possibly pulling out from their arrangement with LIV, it leaves Bryson with no leg to stand on for negotiating power. There's no other league that would pay him that kind of money to do anything. So he's going to go from negotiating for $500 million to unemployed and asking for some sort of spot on the PGA Tour back sooner than the 1 year suspension.
Yeah,
just wild.
And for those of you who don't know, this happened like last Thursday, probably Wednesday night, before they were supposed to start their LIV event in Mexico City. There were reports that like all the higher ups in LIV had a meeting in New York City. Apparently, some of the vendors and people hadn't been paid for weeks. That's the report. And they weren't even sure if they were going to play this week. But it sounds like they're going to play the rest of 2026 for sure. The PIF, which is the Saudi Arabian Private Investment Fund, which has somewhere around $900 billion in its coffers. You know, it's got more money than they know what to do with, has strategically announced that they're kind of shifting their focus, I think. And they have the war in the Middle East right now to kind of use as cover, but I think this league was probably going to end either way. But the PIF is like, they have sold. I believe they sold one of the soccer teams they bought, or they're in the process of selling. So they're kind of dumping some of their international stuff, and it sounds like they're going to focus more back on just Saudi Arabia and you know, projects and investments within the country. Which probably, you know, unless something drastically changes in the next few months, probably leaves LIV out in the cold here.
Well, Mike, the straits are open. Does that impact?
No, they're closed again today.
Oh, shoot.
The news? They're closed again
No.
today. we shot at a Iranian ship today. They're back closed. We're back to threatening to end civilization in Iran. Just kill all these people. That's what we're back to. But anyway, that's a different story. But
it's just a roundabout way to end the LIV Golf Tour. They had
Yeah,
it against us the whole time.
Yeah.
This is one long, elaborate plan to end the best golf tour there was.
I sure hope we wouldn't blow up a girls' school to end LIV Golf. I mean,
you heard it here first, folks, from Mike.
You didn't hear it from me. This is Tim's conspiracy theory on this one. I've been saying LIV Golf is going to end for years. I'm surprised it hung on this long. I mean, they've spent what, $5 billion roughly, they figure, and they have not much to show for it, really.
Well, I think we should gotta give a shout out to Ryan French, who broke the Monday.
He did. Our guy, yeah.
Our guy who's been on the podcast was the first one to kind of come out and say that these things are going on. And, you know, there, like we talk about, there wasn't anything substantial coming out in terms of this is what actually is going to happen. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Clearly something is going on with the LIV situation. And even the guy, O'Neill, whatever, kind of is trying to do some backtracking and figure out where he can take it from here, because it seems to me, like you've mentioned, Mike, it's going to just try to last for the year and then kind of see where we can go from there. That's kind of what I've gathered from all this.
Like Tim said, I'm sure they're going to go out and try to find investments, but the problem is the PIF was able to pay these guys so much money. Nobody else will. Like, nobody else is going to be able to put that kind of money into this. So I think the guys that are really going to suffer are their middle tier, older, washed up guys, because what will happen, I'm sure now, is the PGA Tour will go back. They've clearly won this war of the golf leagues. I mean, clearly they're growing and getting more viewership, and LIV is basically dead after this year, but they're going to go back and they're going to offer probably the same offer they offered before, right? This spring that Brooks got. You know, they'll offer Bryson, Rahm are probably the big two that comes with that, with the, you know, major champions. I don't know how they're going to want to get Hatton somehow. I don't know how they'll try to work. And maybe, I suppose if it just folds, then they can just do a flat out, here's the deal thing somehow.
Well, what is Hatton? Could they do something world ranking? I mean,
maybe they could do something world ranking, but like you think about Jocko, I suppose, but like the guys that are really hurting are the Graham McDowells and all those guys who are in the middle. They're not old enough to play on the senior tour. Plus, they won't be able to necessarily. They might, and they're not going to have anywhere to play.
I'm going to give you guys two people, similar class. One came out well ahead and will do fine after this. The other may have made the mistake of his lifetime. And the one that's ahead is Ballester, the USAM winner, who has done particularly well in a few LIV tournaments and has stacked
go with the next one. Your shorts
quite a bit of cash. So he'll actually have the financial wherewithal, and had not been on the PGA Tour before, so we don't know if the year-long ban applies, to possibly come back right away to Korn Ferry, some other tour, but he'd still be on his ascension with a lot more money in the bag. Now, the guy it's hurt probably the most, especially coming out of Masters Week, is Lasasso. He hasn't played particularly well, so he's not stacking a lot of cash. He was awful vocal with his dissension from the tour and from Tour U, and he passed up a chance at the Masters after placing or winning the USAM. It just seems like he didn't grab enough money on the way through, and now he's going to be stuck in limbo, starting over, asking for a way back, and with nothing in the pockets.
Yeah, I mean, he probably made more money this year than he would have made because he could have used the PGA Tour U and got his tour card. But I think he's made about $700,000 right now. He hasn't played that well. That's more than he probably would have made on the tour. But I don't know where he can go if this thing caves. He's gonna have to go try I suppose these guys are gonna have to try the DP route, like Patrick Reed, more than likely. They'll probably be a little more open than the PGA Tour because they always need bigger name players over there. But I don't know what Rahm is going to do, because Rahm has refused to pay his fines. He's probably more than likely just got to pay his fines if this thing caves and play DP events, more than likely, unless he takes the PGA Tour option if they re-up that again for the next year.
I was just gonna say, I think like Sasso might, he might just have to show a little bit more thigh. Who knows what doors could open if he just flashes a little bit more inner thigh of short shorts. But yeah, he's the one that I think is probably would say the word regret. Maybe you should get a tattoo, regret. You ever seen that one?
Regret.
Yep. The
It's
other
no
guy,
regrets.
so
Maybe on his thigh even.
No
I'm sure-
regrets.
no regrets on his thighs. I'm sure, or on his back. So when it's broken one day from that swing, that he'll have regrets.
It'd probably be on his foot, guys. Come on,
Yeah.
it's John Rahm.
I think, God, Bryson and Rahm must be kicking themselves when they were offered that deal before the Waste Management to come back, and they didn't take it.
Oh,
Like
they think they still will find their way out on there.
those two will find their way back because the PGA Tour is not stupid. They want the big names. They'll figure it out. The other thing is, I wonder what happens with Bryson's YouTube, because supposedly the PIF owns part of that. I don't know how that'll work either.
That is clearly how they're making up all of their lost oil revenue right now, is off Bryson's YouTube.
Bryson's YouTube.
One thing about those two, though, they have put together a stellar LIV season. So we've talked about LIV for, I don't know, the last 15 minutes or so. Not quite. Haven't even mentioned John Rahm won today for the second time this year. So
Well, those
both
two are
Bryson and Rahm sitting at 2 wins.
They're the only two, right? Anthony Kim, he won earlier this year,
Anthony
right?
Kim.
What's he gonna do? I wonder after this. That's gonna be a while.
That's a big question.
Because he'll have to go. I could see him going to like the Asian tour or something, maybe, where they can for surely get starts every week. Maybe DP. I don't know how that'll work for him.
With his team, with the Aces, he's been able to earn quite a bit of money. That combined with his win, I could see him going back to retirement if things don't go well enough for at least the Corn Ferry.
Maybe
to get there.
Yeah, he made $4 million on that win. But like the other thing is, I suppose theoretically, you could get. I don't think this will ever happen because I don't think the big names will go for it. But like you could theoretically get investments, go away from their, paying guys guaranteed money and just have prize purses like the PGA Tour and have your own league. You wouldn't need nearly as much financing that way. But then why would these guys play there? They'd be better off just playing on the PGA Tour then. So what would we put the odds on it just folding after 2026 right now?
I'd lean that way, but
I would say no. I would say they find additional funding for another year just to control the narrative in their own time.
Do you know how much funding they have to find? What is the LIV purse every week is like 20 some million. They have to find like 300 million just for the purses. That is not even operational costs or anything.
Mike, in for a penny, in for a pound. When you look at the total value of some of those initial contracts, what's one more year of $4 million checks every few
Tim,
weeks?
how are they gonna pay the DJ, Tim?
Yeah, how are they going to chain smokers?
That is problematic, and maybe there's rumors that those are the folks they didn't pay were some of the contractors. I bet Diplo is Diplo alive. I bet one of the artists were one of those folks that didn't get paid.
Who is running this league? The PIF has $900 billion. You can't pay somebody like this. Makes no sense. But like they're gonna go from the chain smokers to just the smokers, and they're gonna have Tim up there rapping.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, I don't. If the PIF money goes, unless there's like somebody down in Australia that was just enamored with this because they did have success there, or South Africa, like that's willing to give a lot of money, because Bryson's contract is up this year. There's no way in hell he's going to go back and play there when that same PGA Tour deal might be there for just purse money. Why would he do that? It doesn't even make sense. He was looking for the bag. He wanted the big deal.
Well, he wanted also is a little bit more freedom.
He wanted freedom, but he doesn't have much more there. He's playing in all over the world and then complaining about the conditions and withdrawing.
Well, you want to talk about who didn't have freedom this Wednesday? That was Brooks Koepka, just waiting, hoping anyone dropped so he could play. You look like me showing up after work as a single for a 5 p.m. tee time, just praying something opens.
Yeah, just sitting out there sleeping on the patio.
I would have at least had a mimosa.
We did. We had the RBC Heritage in Harbor Town this week, as Tim mentioned there. As Ed Brooks, I don't think got it. He did not get it.
No, I was anxiously waiting, hoping he would find a spot.
But Matty Fitzpatrick, second win on tour this year, also has a runner-up at the Players.
Hottest player on the planet.
Guy is right now playing some golf. He's golfing his ball. I think at this point, I read that he's going to be moving up to third in the world. At this point last year, he was 79th. So he's found something. One thing that has really changed his game, I think, going back to, you always think about Matt Fitzpatrick, is he doesn't really have a superpower, right? He doesn't really, there's nothing that he is fantastic at. Well, this year, he's second in green regulation, seventh in approach. I mean, his irons is what's really turned him over. And then we talked about his, he's got the little left hand low chipping. He's found these little nuances, and he's driving the ball so well. He's flighting it. He's accurate. He's gained yards over the last few years. So it seems to me that he's just slowly just ascending in every part of his game. He tried the big jumps with the swing speed and driver length, but now the accuracy's matching it. What a complete player.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Tim.
His lag putting through today was tremendous. I mean, a couple of his drives put him in tough positions that he had to really work balls around trees at Harbor Town. I will vote that it is a wonderful golf course to watch on TV.
I disagree 100%.
You get to
we can talk about that in a second. But yeah, I would hope you could leg putt the flattest greens in the world for professional golfers. God, they're flat.
What an athlete, though. I mean, that's my one gripe about Matty Fitz. Doesn't fit the part.
Mike, that's multiple things that Mike doesn't like flat.
That's true. This is true. 100% factual. I'm not even going to argue that one there.
Look at Jeff with the jokes.
Yeah. Anyway, well, okay, I will say this, and maybe not we. I should say I have ripped Matt Fitzpatrick multiple times for wearing Skechers. But I will say, without question, the guy's a grinder. You do not log every shot you've ever hit if you aren't just a data geek trying to figure out how to get better. So he is sitting there all the time finding things to tweak. He needed distance, so he picked up distance. He won a U.S. Open. Now he needed better accuracy with irons. He's figured that out. I think he's a real grinder, a real workhorse.
Did you see, talking a little bit better about the Skechers, he's got metal cleats in those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
How on earth did they get that into a set of Skechers? And can you get a pair near you?
Those green ones he wore today must have been the Augusta version still. Those were easily the best looking Skechers they've ever had, like without question.
I did not throw up looking at his shoes. Now, his unorthodox swing and his left hand low chipping, different story.
I also appreciate a guy, he plays super fast. I appreciate that a lot.
Flying. It was the best group to watch out there.
Yeah, he plays fast golf.
Where are we putting Matt Fitzpatrick at this point in terms of
right below Scottie and Rory? He's at the
real problem.
That's what I'm saying. Are we officially ready to say top 5 player in the world? I mean, at this point,
right now you can already say that the best in the world currently. He's been hotter than hell.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, because we always look at him and think, he's just, he played well this week, but really is, maybe he'll show up again. But this guy is kind of in a way showing the consistency that the best players in the world show, right? Like is it a flash in the pan? I don't know. Like he's played well enough.
For those that didn't see the end of the tournament, right? It finished with 17 as a par 3, I think, with a decent into the wind, and then downwind crosswind right, into crosswind right on 18. And the par 3 shot that he hit on 17 was tremendous after Scottie put it to one shot. And then he didn't necessarily get himself into trouble. He just didn't hit a great chip on 18, makes a bogey, but then looks Scottie in the eyes again for the playoff and makes a birdie on that tough, difficult 18. I mean, he has that dog in him. I
think depending on how you want to tier Scottie and Rory, have them on the same, have Scottie 1, Rory 2, whatever. Fitzpatrick's definitely in that third tier below those two guys, without question. And I think he probably is. He might take a lot. He might gain even more confidence because he got caught by Scottie. Although he played very conservatively. I watched him. I watched a lot of the back nine when I was not having to drive home from up north today, so I watched it in the car. But played very conservatively. But then when it mattered in that playoff, he stared Scottie down, and Scottie was the one that flinched. He had a horrible approach.
That's how I would have hit that approach shot.
Horrific. Like he was 40 yards short of the green.
It's what happens when you hit the spinner, Mike.
Yeah,
the spinner into the wind doesn't go anywhere.
Fitzy didn't even like it really. He one-handed it, hit it right into the wind, 13 feet past the hole, and Scottie flinched. It's amazing.
As much as you don't like this golf course, Mike, I will say the one thing that about it always seems to produce playoffs. I think like it's really hard. It's really hard to run away on this. It's just often lots of bunched up players, and at any point, I know Fitzpatrick kind of separated himself a little bit, but at any point, I mean, we're down like 4 shots off the lead. I mean, there's a lot of things could happen. I think that's the one thing that I've always appreciated about this tournament is you never know who's going to win it. It's just a really tough course to predict scores. You get a lot of guys that try to make noise early, but then, because the course is kind of tough, they don't maybe, they run out of gas in the back nine, right? A couple of tough finishing holes, right? So I don't know. It's been a good tournament for that reason.
I'm not necessarily against the golf course. I just don't think the golf course I don't think it's a great TV golf course. I think I would love to play it. I think it'd be interesting to play. It just seems like it's so unique and different from most of the courses they play, all year long. Cause it's so tight and narrow. And I really like that last par 5 where they can go for it. But they got to hit it over the trees to go for it. Siwoo hit a great shot and Scottie hit in the bunker. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't, to me, this is just my opinion. I don't think it views that well on TV. It just doesn't, I don't know what, something about it every year. I'm like, God, it doesn't film well.
This man just hates trees, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I don't.
I think this films particularly well. It's one of the few stops on tour where you really have to see the guys move it right and left, and you have to disregard your preferred shot shape just because the trees are so tall.
You never get to see it. Every shot tracer goes straight into trees. You never get to see any of it.
They got a little bit better with some of the drone work, and I think over the next few years, as they figure out the angles they want to put the drones on for the shot tracers, it's going to be really cool to watch.
And I feel like nobody's ever going to 3-putt because the greens are so flat. Like, I feel like guys are going to make everything like Ludwig, fell apart, but then he made a 15-footer. Well, the putt didn't move an inch either way. It was so straight and flat. There's so many putts like that out there, and they tried to fix the greens. These were new greens this year that have been fixed, but I suppose there's not a lot you can do with them because it's built on the freaking swamp on the edge of the water.
Yeah, they do. They just need a little bit more slope, but you can't ask for a better spot in the U.S. I would say outside of maybe Pinehurst and Kiowa, this is the most elite golf area in the Southeast. Because not only do you have Harbortown, but you've got all the Palmetto Dune courses. You've got the rest of. God, I'm blanking on the resort.
If you're gonna go elite, it's not even the best in South Carolina. That's around.
You just have such a high density here between the Sea Island courses, between Harbortown, between Palmetto Dunes. It's something like 10 courses in that small little neck of the woods that are all fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great. I just, for whatever reason,
if you want to have us down to play,
yeah,
you can reach us at Break 80 Podcast.
I would love to play it just to see the tee shots and how you got to hit, how you got to try to squeeze things into these little narrow corridors. But Scottie was ripping driver all over the place. He wasn't playing very conservatively. Yeah. What do you think of his game?
Hold on. I was going to ask one more thing about Matt
yeah.
before we move on. It seems to me that fair or not fair, he's kind of starting to deal with some of these crowd favoritisms the last few times he's been in contention. I don't know if other players have necessarily dealt with that. Shane Lowry's been in contention. Rory's been in contention. And they're getting he's getting all this USA chant.
I was going to point that out on this pod.
And I'm curious on to why he's getting that, because he's a very quiet, doesn't really kind of goes about his business. He's been on the Ryder Cup team the last couple of years, but for whatever reason, he seems to be a crowd target.
I will tell you why, Jeff. And I was going to bring this up anyway on this pod. What is wrong with American golf fans? Are we just uneducated idiots? Like when you at the Open Championship or the Scottish Open, they're very proper golf fans. They know a good shot, they know a bad shot. They don't say mashed potatoes and all this other BS. They know golf. Why are we chanting? It's not the Ryder Cup. Why are we chanting USA, USA? You didn't, when the Nuggets come to town here for the playoffs, you're not going to see the whole Target Center chanting USA at Jokic. You don't see that, when the Dodgers play somebody, you don't see, everybody chanting USA at Shohei Ohtani. Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. It's not even the Ryder Cup. It's not even a Ryder Cup year. What an idiotic, stupid, moronic thing to do. What a bunch of morons.
I mean, obviously, Mike, they're not cheering USA. It's a subtle way for them to boo Matt Fitzpatrick.
Well, obviously, but why would you boo him? What has he done to deserve to be booed besides play good golf? And wear Skechers. I will say, if somebody wants to email the Break 80 podcast and say we're booing or we're chanting USA because we don't like Skechers, I'm all on board. But everything else, I don't get it. I don't understand it. They talk about this like every Open Championship. They're like, these fans are spectacular. The players talk about it, and then they come here and it's just like a bunch of morons who don't even know anything.
I don't know if you know this, Mike, but a lot of folks in the U.S., we consider ourselves a little bit of a bully country. So pretty easy to pick on old Matty Fitz, not the fan favorite versus someone like Scottie Scheffler, who's got the rugged kind of 5 o'clock shadow. He's got the big Nike contract, and you got Fitz with braces at one point in time walking around in Skechers. It's a very different pick. And I think they're kind of doing the subtle bullying with the USA chant. I will say.
That's what I think. I think he's getting straight bullied.
He is. He's getting put into a little box.
Why?
But why? I just told you why. Braces and Skechers are not a way to win people's hearts.
Well, I know Skechers aren't. I mean, heaven forbid a British guy tries to have straight teeth. My God.
Yeah, well, it's just off brand for them. We expect authenticity at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say his quite attractive wife. Some would say out of his league on looks, but not the rest of it. It has done a really good job of a social campaign involving him to make him kind of funny and particularly likable. So if anyone's on the fence about Matty Fitz as he's become to rise through the ranks, go check out the Instagram because it's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
I know he's nerdy stat keeping, but at the same time, how can fans not like him? He's one of the only few. Koepka's the other one. There's only a couple guys in the whole damn world that will call out slow play at that level. And he will call it out. He will even name names. He's one of the very few. Every fan should appreciate that. You're not standing there with, holding your breath, waiting for Patrick Cantlay to hit a shot for 10 minutes. Every fan should like that.
Here's the thing, Mike. Okay, so on slow play, right? What if Matty Fitz does and says the famous Brooks Koepka line? We just got to start stroking, guys. The internet would go wild, and not in the same way they went for Brooks. I mean, Brooks was good-hearted humor. He would have been hearing that for the rest of his career because the American fans are just trying to bully him.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, as Mike mentioned, Scottie runner-up back-to-back weeks, first time since Greg Norman in 1986.
Yeah, I would say he's probably back. Huh? He's playing pretty well.
Yep.
He has this weird, unique ability. Like, he starts out slow a lot, and then at every tournament, it seems like by the second, third round, he just gets on a heater and catches up. He was like 7 back, wasn't he, or something like that? And just like that, he's back in contention. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think, we're used to him having this, high floor, and I think his floors maybe lowered a little bit. Like, he's just having these rounds that aren't Scottie like, but then at the opposite end, his weekends have been lights out. He's
unreal.
His weekends, he's been charged. It's like if the guy can just find a way to, shot or 2, 3 better, Thursdays and Fridays. I mean, he'd be not having to go 7, 8 under on a Saturday just to get himself back into this thing. So he'd be running away with it if he'd had a decent, Thursday, Friday rounds going back this year. But so another runner up, and
I do think like your high floor comment is right, because a lot of these early rounds he's had this year, a lot of guys would have really blown up and probably been even worse. And he kind of finds a way to hang in there when he doesn't have his best stuff and shoot around, at Harbortown under par, but he'll shoot a 73 when it could have been a 75 or something like that. He finds a way to hang in there and keep himself in it till he gets going.
Well, how about this? First shot of the tournament, out of bounds. Very first shot went OB.
Yep.
Second shot fairway, had about a 25 footer per bogey, makes it, right? So that's like just right there, just the resiliency, out of bounds, doesn't start with the double, finds a way to scrap out a bogey when he goes out of bounds. Just kind of what Scottie does. And he just doesn't do a lot of dumb things. And he's starting to make a little bit more putts that he maybe has missed. Putters kind of is getting locked in. I don't know. He just seems steady. He's cool.
He was steady. But at the same time, you watch today, I know you were playing golf, but like I was watching this, he had nowhere near his A game when he caught him. He missed a couple greens coming down the stretch. He got up and down for par, but like he had irons in his hand, missed the green multiple times. The playoff, he had a terrible shot in the playoff. Like he wasn't sharp like the whole time.
But he had some score.
He still scored. Yep. He made birdies when he had to make birdies, and his short game is good enough that he didn't make bogeys on some of those. He just hung in there and made pars after some bad iron shots. So he wasn't necessarily firing on all cylinders. I also think Fitzpatrick played incredibly conservative with that 3-4 shot lead for most of the back nine. I mean, he was hitting it a ways away from the flag sticks and stuff. Yeah.
Anything else takeaways from Harbortown? Like you said, kind of a Masters hangover. I mean,
it is.
It's the one thing I do like is it is it's a total switch of golf course. So it's kind of just to give you a different look. I mean, like I know TV isn't great, but like I just like
it's different.
Going from like you're in Texas and you got wide open, and it's kind of nice to kind of get back to a little bit different of a style of golf course.
Well, I will say this. I am a huge Siwoo guy. I love watching Siwoo. He's just ripping 3-woods over trees, doesn't care. Did you see I posted it on social media? Did you see where he was waiting for the green up in front of him and he's standing kind of over by somebody's property and they're watching, they have the golf on the big screen and he's just sitting there watching his own replays on the big screen right by the yard waiting for the next shot, like talking to and watching. Love Siwoo.
Fantastic to watch.
Still should go to the broom putter. He'd probably be winning more because he hits it great. Again, here's another guy that I've ripped a lot but I will say this. I have ripped him a lot, but he's had a spectacular year. And I kind of feel bad for him that he has a back injury because Colin Morikawa balled out again, top 5 again. He played great at the Masters with definitely in pain. But showing a little bit of toughness, that's for sure.
So gritty, and he's walking funny. He is walking different lately.
You can tell he's got like some sciatica, something going down a leg or something's going on. He's just hobbling around out there.
It's tough. It's tough to go shoot low scores with those back injuries, Mike. You wouldn't know, but
my back. I'm 6'5" and overweight, Tim. My back's always hurting. I know Jeff must have picked him again this week because we got the "You suck, Ludwig" text. But Ludwig, by the way, if you don't count the Masters, which is in the regular PGA Tour event, Ludwig is top 5 the last 4 events, so he's coming along.
But the thing about it is
he just needs to win. Figure out how to win.
He doesn't really actually contend. Like he wasn't even in contention on the back 9 at Sawgrass. Like it was just over.
Well, he was still about the 13th hole or whatever it was.
I just can't like. Has he played in any of these where he's kind of doing a Rory? He just loves to just kind of top 5 a bunch. Maybe when he doesn't have a chance to win, it's just like
I think
he's not even on your golf screen. Like you ever watch? You don't even watch him hit that many shots because he's there, but he's not there.
Well, a couple things. Yeah, I do. I get it. A couple things. First of all, until about the last 3 holes, nobody was in contention in this tournament. Fitzpatrick was ahead by 3 or 4 the entire tournament until Scottie made birdies on 15, 16, whatever it was, and kind of tightened it up. So it was like no dissension. But I think Ludwig's I feel like he's kind of the same as Cam Young. He just has to. He has won twice. He won a big one at Torrey. He
won one in that region
in the South.
Yeah,
he did. He won the RSM.
Right next door. It's on property.
He did. So I think like once he gets over the hump in either a major or a players or a really big event, you will see Ludwig start popping more. He just got to figure out how to win. That's his thing.
If he's listening to this, and he should, because you talked with his mother for quite a while.
I did. Nice lady.
He should come back to the 3M, because let's be honest, weaker field sets up well. I think he wins the 3M if he decides to ever show up.
Yeah, I
again.
doubt he will. Ricky Fowler, top 10 finish.
I kind of put him in the Spieth category. Like, he just pops off every once in a while, but just can't. I think he's played some good golf, but I don't see him ever truly getting in, contention either.
Has he fallen from his fanfare? Because there were very few shots of him, both during the Masters, where it maybe I think 4 or 5 that last day were filmed,
Well,
and then I didn't see much of him this tournament at all.
Tim, think about it though. The Ricky Fowler heyday, all those kids are like adults now. Like they're not wearing that anymore. He's kind of also phased himself out of some of that. Jeff,
you say that, but when we were interviewing those high school kids, it wasn't Ricky Fowler necessarily, but it was Jordan Spieth. He was a favorite of so many kids. I wanted
to ask them why. What the hell? You like Under Armour? What do you like about this guy?
I think it was Spieth's. Like, think about Spieth was winning majors when they were kids.
Well,
I figured it because they just wanted to aim at
the kids we were talking to would have been about 5 years old when Spieth was winning majors.
2015, 11.
10 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah, they probably have memories of him. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how about he's always good at this course. The corpse of Patrick Cantlay, a top 10 finish. Gary Woodland, another top 10 finish with his ace on, or it's not his ace, his hole out deuce on 18. What else we got here?
Amazing shot, by the way, into the wind, hit so soft in front of that pin, barely, not that much room between the front of that green and that pin.
Let's go to the bottom of the leaderboard. How bad right now is Tony Finau?
How did Brooks not get in over Finau?
There was a handful of guys that shot over par here. Most of them were like 2 over. Finau shot 11 over, and that includes being 1 under today. Like,
I don't see this
horrible.
I don't see this course fitting him very well.
No, but he's been horrible all year, pretty much.
He's a horrible putter. I mean, he can't. Yeah, so. Doesn't surprise me that he's not doing well at this tournament.
Here's a shocker on the leaderboard. Here's a shock. Well, Knapp was down there, but that's not a course that fits him really either. You would think this course would fit Brian Campbell.
I picked him this week. I picked him.
He's over par. Like, how can he contend at some of these courses hitting 3 woods into par 4s? Then you get to a tight short course and he can't even shoot under par.
He was in first place on Thursday for a while. I was sitting pretty.
Oh man. Also disappointed Hoagie. Should be a good course for Hoagie.
Should. It really should.
Well, even Novak, he was runner-up last year.
Yeah, he shot 3 over today.
Disappointing Sunday when this is kind of his style too.
Yeah.
Novak strong showing again this year. Showed almost winning form last year.
Yeah,
going down the last hole.
Said that, Tim. That's who I was talking about.
Good segue, Tim. Good segue, because Andrew Novak, defending champion this week coming up.
Very true. And an entertaining list. So for those that don't know, this upcoming event, a little different. You team up with a partner. It's 4-ball and alt shot back and forth.
Yep. Alt shot and 4-ball back and forth. Yes.
So a couple names to watch.
Tim, why don't you give us a name and then we'll see if we can name the partner.
Oh, I got the first one up. It was Blades Brown.
Ooh.
Who's Blades gonna play with?
Was it Blades? Hold on. Let me verify. I lost the name here. It was a young team. It was a young team.
Mason Ford.
Hold on. Now I got to find it again.
David Ford, you mean?
David Ford. Sorry, Mason Ford's a kid I had in class.
Let's see. I'm gonna go Blades Brown. God, it'd be great if Miles Russell was in the Too Big Junior. Or Jackson Coyfin.
I got it right. Blades Brown and Luke Clanton.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Some young kids pairing up.
Yep.
Who else? Give us a name.
All right. I mean, you already know the interesting one. If I say Brooks Koepka, which I'm surprised by this pick, although I think
Lowry.
Does Shane have a place in Jupiter?
Yeah,
Yes.
he lives somewhere down there. Yeah,
So I'm thinking it's the neighborly revival. They probably go cook burgers on the Blackstone Grill, and then they decided to pair up together.
probably.
All right.
I mean, nice pairing for Lowry since Rory backed out.
Brooks
You
didn't
will
want his,
never get this off a personality fit.
Brooks didn't want to have his brother Chase this year.
I guess not. Hard to bring him over, I suppose.
Chase,
Or just wanted a chance to win. All right, I'm going to give you the first name, and his partner's not one you would expect. Billy Horschel.
God, it's a tough.
I'll give you a hint. It's about as far away geographically in the U.S. as you can get from Florida.
I'm trying to think of somebody in Washington.
I was immediately going Kyle Stanley, Washington.
Yeah, Gig Harbor,
No,
Washington.
it's north. It's definitely north, but it's not that far west.
Canada.
Hoagie, Fargo.
Hoagie, Tom
Is he
Hoagie,
really?
and Billy Horschel together.
That's
One of the
weird.
nicest
That's
guys.
odd. Well, and Horschel's kind of outspoken, and well, let's be honest, he's a dick. And
Hoagie, very
Hoagie's
nice, and I wouldn't say not outspoken by any means, but a little bit closer to the chest.
Interesting.
And then you've got the dynamic duo, BG, and you already know.
Are they back?
Novak.
And they're back. They're back together again. The boys from Sea Island are paired up again at Zurich.
Did you guys start watching Full Swing season 4 at all?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up to you after.
I thought Ben Griffin was pretty cool. He was really emotional, talking about how he had quit the game and everything, pretty much. And
let's talk about that a moment after Tim says a couple more teams.
I have not watched much of it yet, but
you haven't? Okay, well we can say that.
We can talk about it. I don't care. We can talk about it. I don't care if it's
I've got one more here, and I got to get your opinion because I don't know much about the partner, but we've got Rico Hoey, who showed great numbers at the end of last year.
Last year has been awful this year. This year.
I'm going with Isaiah Salinda.
Rico Hoey. Is this a Latin vibe? Has he got a Latin partner?
No.
Like is this like milk toast white guy or what?
Yeah, it's pretty milk toast.
Rico Hoey. Who would be Brian Campbell?
David Lipsky.
Lipsky.
He's not a white guy.
No, he's not a white guy. He's like Asian. The hell are you talking about? David. Clearly you saw his name and thought he was a white guy. You never even watched him play golf.
Yeah, they all look the same.
He's like a Canadian Asian guy, isn't he, David Lipsky?
Yeah. How do you classify that one?
He finished second to Fitzpatrick at the Valspar.
Yeah, Lipsky.
All right, one last one. Neil Shipley.
Oh God. Oh, that's got to be a younger player with Neil Shipley.
I'm trying to think of a Corn Ferry guy.
Johnny Kiefer.
Christo Lamprecht, but Kiefer was on the list as well.
The big guy.
Christo, 6'9".
Where did he go? Because he is on here.
Who? Toasty?
Kiefer is playing.
Oh, I just pulled up the list here. Hold on. Yeah, Kiefer is with I don't see it now. I had it. I don't know. How about this pairing? Toasty, your boy Toasty is with Rafael Campos. Little Latin flavor there. I think there's one pairing here that has the potential to just go nuclear in either direction. Could be great, could be bad. Nick Dunlap is paired with Gordon Sargent. They could should 10
not a fairway.
They could shoot 85 in all shot. I mean, this could get gross.
Not a fairway will be hit.
It could go anywhere. That pairing could go anywhere.
Well, let's
Kiefer is with Michael Brennan.
There we go.
I guess Michael
Young
Brennan.
guys.
Yeah, okay. I'll tune into that. It's a little different. You get a little taste of some team golf. Team golf is always fun. Speaking of team golf, I mean, like Mike, I watched Full Swing 4. Yeah. And it's heavy emphasis on the Ryder Cup is the big.
Yeah, I watched the first episode and a half so far. They started out a lot with it. I have here you go, Jeff, before we get off the teams. David Ford is playing. We'll see if you can get this one with an also North Carolina Tar Heel.
Is Mason Howell? That's not.
No, he's going to go to Georgia. He's a high schooler still.
Hold on a second. I have somebody in my head. I got to spit it out though. William Mao.
Nope, he's playing with Takumi Kanaya. It
I
is
would know that.
Ryan Gerard is the North Carolina guy.
How
about this? I mean, this might be the shortest hitting pairing this tournament's ever had.
So Brian Campbell.
No, Peter Malnati is playing with Russell Knox. That is that's
a wild pairing.
How is Russell Knox still on tour? Malnati at least won a couple of years ago.
Did you see the tweet by Smiley Kaufman? He got
invited. I saw that.
By who? He never said who. That's desperate when you're reaching out to Smiley.
Listen, I also want to point out that I pride myself on knowing a lot of golfers on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. But there is a guy right here playing with Matthew Pavone that I have never heard of in my entire life. Martin Kuvra. Has anybody heard of Martin Kuvra?
No.
I have not. And I watched the DP a lot too. What the hell? Who is that? Aaron Ryan
makes me wonder where folks find their pairings.
Yeah, Aaron Ryan Sahith could be a sneaky team, possibly. Eric Van Rooyen and Bezadenhout, he still owes me $10 for not winning the US the Open.
God, you don't forget anything. It's like elephant hour.
I don't forget that. Who else we got? Oh my God, Keith Mitchell. What are you doing? Just when I thought Keith Mitchell was cool, he had to go and wreck it all. You see who he's paired with, Tim? Think of the least cool guy you can think of on tour, guys.
It's Brandt Snedeker, right?
Brandt Snedeker. What is Casimir Keith doing? Playing with Brandt Snedeker?
Doesn't he rock a visor though on occasion?
I don't know. He doesn't have any hair. He's bald now.
I think he used to rock a visor. I think that's the visor team.
I feel like Tim needs to email Chad Ramey today and tell him what kind of person Justin Lauer really is out there after Tim got into it with Justin Lauer in Myrtle Beach.
Confirmed Brandt Snedeker, big time visor wearer back when he had the flow.
Was he really? Marco, my guy, Raitan going with Chris Ventura from Oklahoma State.
It's better than Ace.
Here we go. This is an interesting team. Hao Tong is playing with Jordan Smith from England. What a weird pairing that is. There are some weird ones here.
I think they could go a little different way with this and make them do team costumes first tee.
Oh man, there are some terrible.
You could look like a WWE duo
team.
going up to
Pontus
that tee box.
Nyholm and Jesper Svensson. How did we get into this? Here's another guy I've never heard of before. Camilo Villegas is playing with something called Marcelo Rozo.
Something called.
Who is that? I've never seen that name in professional golf anywhere on a leaderboard ever.
I guess all we got to do next year, guys, is just put in our application and see if they take it. Hey, it would be great. It would be great content. 3 guys, 3 local guys, or just 3 average golfers, maybe one above average, playing against the pros. We just get to scramble. And they have to do their formats.
I got 4 teams here. After I want to put out Streelman's playing with Joel Damon. I got 4 teams here that I know Jeff is going to love. Here we go, Jeff. We got Troy Merritt and Robert Streb. James Hahn and Kyle Stanley. I was just kidding. Kyle Stanley's in the field. He's playing in this tournament.
What's funny is that was the first name that popped in my head too. Kyle Stanley.
How is he in this tournament? How in the hell?
Gig Harbor, Washington, Kyle Stanley.
God, this tournament is hurting for people, apparently. Jonathan Bird is playing with Ches Reavie. And finally, here we go. This team could win it all. Definitely going to be in contention day one. You've got Charlie Hoffman teaming up with an all-time favorite of Jeff's. I know he's an all-time favorite. This could be a top 10 player of Jeff's favorite ever, Nick Watney.
Yes, Nick Watney was great. The guy should have won a major. Let's be honest. Whistling Straits really jumped out at him on Sunday.
This tournament is. I know the players love it. It's like the best food and everything. But come on, just cut this field in half. Get rid of some of these guys.
Well, before we wrap up here, I do want to point out, I know Mike's not big into the Senior Open, but good on Stewie Sink, just closing out another major,
just dominating it down there.
Yeah, Stewie Sink. But I wanted to point out, I texted you guys, I could not believe that Ben Crane, one of the golf boys, is 50.
He is.
He's 50. I have not seen him play golf in many years, so he's back. Took second this week. So
here's the thing: we're getting older, so we're gonna start seeing a lot of guys that we grew up watching being senior tour guys now.
I know it's gonna. Yes, that transition is happening.
Too soon. By the way, the senior tour might have played on a better course. I think it's in South Carolina than the PGA Tour did this week. The senior tour PGA was at Concession. Great looking golf club. Stewie won by 6. Just killed everybody.
Do you want me to talk a little bit of full swing, or we?
Yeah, we can go ahead. I've watched a little.
We have seen 0 of it, so no plot turns, twists, or any.
I don't know. Are there ever any real plot turns? If you watch a lot of golf, it's like you kind of know what's going to happen.
The thing about it is it's heavily revolved around the Ryder Cup. As you guys know, last year was kind of nuts. You know, you had Fleetwood winning his first PGA Tour event, so they focused a little bit on that. Obviously, big focus on Rory winning the Masters. But a lot of that, all this stuff, they kind of work it around the Ryder Cup. So they find a way to take these tournaments, points, you know, guys that were on the fringe. And then of course the big closer is the Ryder Cup week. So it's good. You know, you get to see some new personalities. Mike was talking about, you know, Ben Griffin, for example, got to know him a little bit more in this. Cam Young, Cam Young isn't on social media. Cam Young, like, he's a hard one to know what's happening, right? You don't hear much from him. Fun to see him get some microphone time and learn a little bit about what he's thinking on some of these things. And overall, I don't think I even watched much of season 3, but I wanted to tune in for those two reasons specifically: Rory, Masters, and then just see what they would, kind of say for that Ryder Cup, because it was such a butt whooping think about it. Ryder Cup is the biggest event in golf, and it was good for an hour of the entire time. The last hour was the only really intriguing point in the entire thing. So yeah, I mean, I think definitely people should watch it. It's not you could waste time watching something else for sure. I mean, it's good TV.
Well, the one thing that they missed, and this is based solely on what came out following the par 3 course with Wyndham Clark, they could have had a reality TV show around Wyndham Clark's dating over the last couple of years.
Wyndham's been on there a lot, though. I'm assuming.
He's had the same gal now for a while.
No, not according to the TikTok. Rumors surround of, he had the hard launch, as they call it, Mike, during the par 3 where he announced his new girlfriend. I
thought he had the blonde gal that was the college golf coach or whatever.
John Ellis is not the only one he got rid of.
He's getting rid of all kinds of stuff.
Yep, it's cleaning house over there. But the old TikTok, where rumors abound about single Wyndham there for a little while, would have made a great reality TV show.
Huh, interesting.
What do you guys? Our buddies brought this up. John Rahm's caddy's house is up for sale for $14 million. That's a caddy, folks. That's not a golfer.
Gotta have family. There's got to be family money or something. Listen,
it's LIV.
The caddies make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. They make 10. You know, if you win a major, you get about $400,000 before taxes. And I'm sure
he's made $800,000 already off John Rahm's 2 wins. At least
he has on LIV. But, and I guess if you want to be totally house poor, sure. But there's got to be more to that story. Unless the house really appreciated in value since he bought it. $14 million. That's a lot. That's a big ass house for a caddy.
Well, obviously he sees the downturn, though. If he's looking to sell already, there must be something in the works. More validation for.
Yeah, LIV is gone after this year. He's getting
it's sunk in the Straits of Hormuz.
He's going to be living in a 1-bedroom apartment now.
A van down by the river.
If you think about it, though, just think of the money that Rahm is raking in. Top 3 in every LIV event, basically, since he's been on it. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, people wonder how he got the money. I mean, the guy is not only that, his team is winning basically every week or every other turn.
I wonder.
So, like,
which they did. Legion 13 wins the team event.
Think about it. Rahm is raking in every time he tees it up at a LIV event.
Oh, for
how
sure.
much money? I mean, this guy. I mean, think about Mike and Tim. We gotta have an idea with with being buddies with John Ellis, kind of what he was making when Wyndham was winning events.
Yep.
You know, he won at Pebble, he won a major. You know, John was doing very well. He was top fiving in some of these signature events. John lives on Lake Minnetonka. I know his wife does well too, but he was pulling in a good chunk of change.
Well, think about it. The 1 year he won the Open and the Wells Fargo, a signature event, that's got to be grossing $700-800 right there, probably, as a caddy at 10%.
What we are trying to say here is, if you're this far into the episode and you're a PGA Tour or Korn Ferry player, and you think, hey, one of these 3 break 80 guys would be great on my bag, let us know. We're available.
I've caddied before in some pro events. Anyway, here's a good question for you before we wrap this up. So Rahm is probably still owed what? Half of his LIV deal? He's probably about halfway through that deal he signed. Do you think if he knew that this thing would collapse, and he's made a lot of money, he would have left? Because he has clearly sullied his reputation. He's become kind of the villain. He has not been competitive in majors, really. And he seems, by all accounts, to be a really competitive guy. I don't know if he would have left for only $200 million or whatever the heck he got, half of whatever his supposed 400 was. Because he's the one, you know, like Bryson's made all of his first deal. He's going to miss out probably on the big deal, but Rahm is not going to get half that money probably.
I think Rahm is more in the mold of Patrick Reed, where they love the tournament. Like, Rahm's not a guy that he wants to be putting and hearing a bunch of music.
No, they want real golf tournaments.
I think he's kind of in that mold, and I think the timing wasn't good for him. He was kind of in the middle of, you know, his contract wasn't going to run out. But I think Rahm is one of the most competitive guys in golf. I just think he obviously took money over loving competitive golf, but I think a lot of people in that situation probably would have.
Yeah, well, supposedly it was like 400 million. It was an insane amount.
So Rahm is. We will see Rahm again on the PGA Tour. It's just a matter of when.
The big question is, will we see him in the Ryder Cup next year?
He's Mike. It's the same thing.
They will find a way to get him out there.
They'll bend rules to get John Rahm.
He was their best player in New York, probably.
Yeah.
But as of it stands right now, he will not be. He's not eligible to play in the 2027 Ryder Cup because he's not a DP member because he hasn't paid his fines.
Speaking of Ryder Cup, that was the one other takeaway from Full Swing. These guys talking about the Ryder Cup being the greatest thing since whatever. I mean, all these guys, the Justin Roses of the world, the Shane Lowrys, the Tommy Fleetwoods, the way that they talk about the Ryder Cup, you would have thought that, it was their first child. I mean, it's unbelievable how much those guys love.
Well, I think I agree, but they have a little bit of a built-in advantage here. I think, and you guys might disagree, that the President's Cup does not help the United States when it comes to the Ryder Cup, because these guys they have to play every year in one of these, where it's every 2 for the Europeans. It's a bigger deal. They should let the PGA of America or whoever the hell picks the Ryder or the President's Cup team should let the Break 80 podcast run the President's Cup. And they should, and they honestly, like if you asked me, if the PGA of America came to me and said, Mike, how do we fix the Ryder Cups for more competitive? This would be my very first thing I would say. Don't let Scottie and some of these guys play in the President's Cup. Use the President's Cup for the Goddard-ups, the Akshays, the guys who need to play in one of these events, one of these big things. Get them ready. Have kind of a second-tier team. Who gives a shit if you lose? You're still going to probably win anyway because the international team is not that competitive. And that way, the guys that have played in 1 billion Ryder Cups now, like Scotties and JTs and whoever, have a little more juice for the event because they're not just playing another. Obviously, there is juice regardless, but you know what I'm saying. We have to play every year in one of these in the fall, where the Europeans have 2 years to kind of gear up for this thing, and we're always doing something.
It gets a little watered down.
And we never pick young guys for the President's Cup either. We never roll out a bunch of young guys to get them ready.
Yeah, it should almost be like an event to prepare them and get these guys. Yeah, so it's but at the same time, these guys are competitive. They don't want to lose that either. So
no.
Yeah, it gets diluted. It's watered down for sure. It's not as exciting. The guys like I got, think about these, some of these better players just know that they have this on their every year. They're doing this team event, in September or whatever. And it's just kind of it's just part of my schedule. It's not one of those things where, of course, they all want to be on the team, but most of them
nobody's gonna say no and turn down being on the team.
But yeah, I agree, Mike. Yeah.
But it's just like it doesn't seem to do us any favors at all. When you could turn it into something that worked in your benefit by getting these guys some competitive match play, Ryder Cup light kind of experience and see how they handle it.
I don't foresee them doing that because at the end of the day, they have a product to sell, and they're not going to sell it on the backs of Akshay and
no, of course not.
And on a couple of the others that do need the reps under those conditions. But yeah, they still have to beholden to the shareholders on this one, and they want to get the most views possible. So I like the idea. It's just
it's never going to happen. I'm just saying that would be my 100% first suggestion. Would be get some of the big dogs out of there. They don't need to be there, and get other guys ready. Because you couldn't tell me what if Chris got her up last year, he played well, Head went 3-0 or 3-0-1 in a President's Cup. I bet you they probably would have picked him and said, look at what I did in last year's President's Cup. But nobody knew. They said, well, he can't handle, this. He's never handled this before. So they always take the older guys who seemingly always lay an egg when you need them to. They gave Cam Young a chance, and look what happened. He was the best damn player on the whole team.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Lots to talk about. When is our next major, Mike? Is that
it's about a month? It's in May.
About a month away.
Championship at Aronimink. I'll get you the exact date right here.
Okay, so we're looking at a month away.
You basically have once the Masters hits, you have a major every month. You got the PGA Championship in May, the US Open in June, and then early July is the Open Championship. But you got we go Zurich next week. Then it's the Cadillac Championship, Timmy, at Doral.
Oh, the new edition. God, that's a terrible timing.
And then it's the Truist at in Charlotte there at Quail Hollow, and then the PGA Championship is May 14th.
Nice.
So about a month.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. As you guys know, the difference between 79 and 80 is everything.